Today we are talking about agile. Agile, a real buzzword. Everywhere you can read, agile companies have more success, agile companies have a better market access, and people even have more fun working at these companies. Really?
Seems like a table and stuff.
It looks chaotic. Michelle, is this the right place to be for talking about agile?
Agile brings order to chaos.
The financial industry is in the middle of transformation, and a person who can tell me more is Michelle. So you're working an agile model for a long, long time, comparing agile with an animal. Which one could it be?
Chameleon. Maybe that's a little cliche, but it's the most adaptive. In this environment, survival is not a given. And whoever adapts the fastest will get the opportunity.
What's the core point of working agile?
So I would point out two things. One is interdisciplinary teams. You should have everyone you need for your deliverable within the same team. So you eliminate silos and handoffs, and also producing minimum viable products, MVP.
That's what we have to explain. Can you give me an example for the MVP?
Fortunately enough, I rated my kids Legos for you. Let's say we have a cargo plane company and they're looking to test a new cargo plane, and they bring in some pilots to test it out. And this pilot says, hey, looks nice, except I'm 5'2", I can't see out the window. It looks like you made it for men that are at least 5'10". They say, oops, sorry, and they go to put in a chair. And then she takes it for a ride and says, well, thank you, I can see out the window now, but I have 12-hour flights. Do you think maybe you can put in a chair with a back? So they put in a chair with a back, and she says, oh, that's much better.
First you start with an MVP, and then you develop further with the whole team of people, and everyone is giving his input?
Exactly. After each version of the MVP, you go to the user and see if you've gotten closer to the ideal point. In the old days, you had your manager here. We're going to take the guy with the crown, and he would tell the team what they had to deliver, and then he would also dictate the how and watch them as they did it. Now today, what we do is he tells them what is needed, and they, under themselves, are empowered to decide how to do it. And rather than, checking in all the time and expecting PowerPoint progress reports, he will show up after 2 weeks at a demo, and they will actually show him the product. In some areas, that's been a bit of a culture change, because they came initially with progress reports, really, rather than the output, the deliverable. And it takes some getting used to present something that isn't perfect. This leadership was probably much more directive, telling them what to do, and they follow orders, sort of like what you would expect in the military. And now we expect this guy to practice servant leadership. And basically what that means is, rather than going to the demo or the STIKO and grilling people, he says, how can I help?
And what does it mean now, the big tanker and the small speedboats?
Something that we called scaled agile. And basically that is moving people from a tanker ship that maybe has trouble, going over there to get the opportunity, to little, what I would call yachts or very stable boats. Speedboats, I would use yacht rather, because they have a crew. They have everything they need end to end, and they're stable. They're not falling over at the first wave.
So can we use agile everywhere?
The classic example for where you can't use agile is to build a bridge, because no one would want to drive over an MVP bridge. But I would actually dispute that. In the earlier stages, I would think while you're designing the bridge, you would absolutely want a integrated multidisciplinary team of everyone you will ever need. Yes, when they come up with the final design, we would hope that is fairly stable, but in almost all large infrastructure projects, you encounter hurdles along the way, and there you have all the people you need to find the best solution. So actually, I would want to drive over a bridge built by an agile team.
What is your personal experience with working agile? Write it in the comments.